Welcome to Self-Love Ignited. My name is Katie Allen. I'm a certified health and life coach, and we are here to talk all things self-love, self-acceptance, body image, health, and total well-being. You are going to hear from me, plus you'll hear the stories of other women who have transformed this already. They have walked this path, and they have really learned how to love and embrace all parts of themselves. We are here to help you be inspired, motivated, and to help you really transform your relationship with yourself to be a loving and positive force each and every day. What are you waiting for? Let's get to it. Welcome back to Self-Love Ignited. My name is Katie, and today I want to have a conversation about confidence. When we are dealing with the subject matter of self-love, of body positivity, of being really sort of being well and diving into self-care, the issue or the challenge of confidence comes up a lot. I hear all the time from women, I wish I could just be more confident. I wish I could feel confident like you do. Must be so nice to be confident to show your body or confident to speak your truth. It must be so wonderful. And the fact is, absolutely, it is wonderful. And the fact is that it's also terrifying. It's terrifying. And I really like to say, and I feel like I read this somewhere, and for the life of me, I don't know where. But basically, you have to have courage before you have confidence. Confidence is not born out of thin air. Confidence cannot just be dreamed up. Confidence is something that you develop. And you have to be brave to do the scary things again and again. And that is how you get confident. And essentially, my opinion is that pretty much everything that's worthwhile in this life is gonna scare the crap out of you. Pretty much everything that's worthwhile in this life is going to scare the crap out of you. Please quote me on that. I mean, really, just take a moment and think about it. Think about your own life and the big things that have happened. Whether that is moving, maybe getting married or moving in with a new partner, having kids, starting a new job, starting your own business, whatever those sort of big milestone changes that were decisions that you had to make in your life, whatever those are, think about how scary, in its own way, each one of those was. Now, I can tell you personally, the things in my life that have scared me the most have been the most rewarding. They have served me well. And what I have learned through my own experiences, and also what I have seen with my clients again and again and again, is that being afraid of something isn't a stop sign. Don't let fear or hesitation or a lack of confidence be a stop sign. All right? Allow that fear to be more like a caution sign, like a yield sign or a give way sign, where you sort of slow down, you check your surroundings, you make sure that it's still safe to continue, and then you do so. Right? But this takes courage. Being afraid, looking around, seeing what's around you, and continuing to move forward, choosing to step into that fear, that takes courage. That takes courage. And I want to give you a couple of examples from my own life where this has been really profoundly life-changing and has just been incredible. And when I'm speaking about having courage before having confidence, I really am speaking from my own experiences. I really, really am. The first one that I really want to talk about is, well, first of all, moving overseas, right? I am Canadian and I live in Australia. Let me tell you, if you've moved, if you've done a big move, I think you probably understand how terrifying it is. If you have never done a big move, if you've never gone to a country where maybe you don't know all the customs, or maybe it is really far away from your family and friends, maybe you don't know anybody, it's pretty much the most scary thing ever, because all of that support that we rely on as human beings is suddenly gone. And yes, in this age of the internet and Zoom calls and social media and all of that, yes, it's a lot easier because you can still stay connected to people wherever they are in the world. But I can tell you firsthand, it's not the same. It's not the same. And the first time I bought a ticket to come to Australia, I was just a backpacker. And that was terrifying. I had a full blown meltdown at the airport in Toronto when I was getting ready to leave. And it took me a while after landing. There was a lot of crying. It took me a while after landing to sort of find my feet. And then about a year, probably about a year and a half later, when I ended up, after quite a bit of back and forth, and when I actually decided to move here, same thing. It was just terrifying. And I knew that the life that I wanted required that I be courageous. The life that I dreamed of creating wasn't just going to fall into my lap. It required that I make big decisions and take a big leap of faith and really believe in myself and trust that everything would be okay. And it is. And it is. Another big way that really required me to be courageous before I found my confidence was embarking on choosing to be healthy and embarking on choosing to lose weight. Now, this is something that I haven't really talked about very openly that much before. It's a very personal journey and one that I'm still very much in the middle of. And that is really that I grew up, and it's also part of why I talk about body positivity and self-love. I truly firmly believe that you can absolutely love yourself and love your body and still want to change it. So many people in this community would try to tell you one way or the other. This is 100% just my opinion, because again, it is my lived experience. I believe that you can have both. Because I can tell you that I love my body. My body is my home. My body is a temple. I do everything I can to take care of my body. And I still carry extra weight, which means that my back injury hurts more. It means that my knees hurt. It means that doing different activities is more challenging for me simply because I'm carrying extra weight. So yes, I want to lose weight, and it has nothing to do with me loving my body or not. It has to do with me living my best life, and that is just my experience. But this requires courage, because for my whole life, me carrying extra weight was my protection. It has been a shield. It has been my armor. Because if somebody didn't like me, if they criticized me, if they rejected me, I could just simply say, oh, it's because of my weight. It's because I'm fat. That's why that person doesn't like me, or that's why that guy didn't ask me out, or that's why, whatever, fill in the blank. It was a cop-out, and it was a shield. And for a long time, I wasn't really aware of it. And then once I became aware of it, I made a conscious choice to not let it be a shield anymore, because my body deserves better than that. And so me really embarking on this journey of allowing my body to lose weight, of instilling new habits, new thought patterns that is going to allow me to find that balance, find my ideal health. That required a lot of courage, because I was letting go of something that had been protecting me in its own way for a really, really long time. And I can tell you now, like I said, I'm still in the middle of this journey. This is an ever unfolding thing in my life. But I can tell you now that I am confident in my skin, and I am confident in the choices that I make for myself. And although it is still scary for me to even speak about this publicly because so many people have such polarizing opinions, I can tell you that I'm confident within myself and that I know that the choices I make are the best ones for me. And I am also confident that I don't need that armor anymore. I don't need that shield. I believe in myself and I trust myself enough to have that confidence. So it took a lot of courage to start, and some days it still does, but courage before confidence. And the third way that I really want to put this across to you is taking on big things in life. Now, recently, myself and three of my friends, we call ourselves the Bold, Fearless Females. You can look us up on Instagram if you like. We've started doing women's like day retreats. We haven't really figured out what to call them yet, whether they're workshops or events or retreats. But regardless, the four of us have come together and started bringing together groups of women in safe, healing spaces to allow women to connect, to have fun, laugh, eat good food, and to do different activities that are going to light us up. So, for example, one of my friends is a Reiki master. So she has done some beautiful group Reiki and chakra healing on us. One of my friends is an incredible artist, and she has brought art in a couple of different forms, as well as some planting. We had some succulents and some seedlings and some planting, and the pots themselves was the artwork, and then it was filled with these beautiful living beings that get to be nourished. My other friend is, among other things, a meditation facilitator. She's also a counselor. She's also like the crystal goddess. She knows everything about them. But the gift that she has brought so far to these gatherings is meditation and bringing these women together to ground and to arrive and to settle in and really tap into themselves. And then I bring my gifts of, talking about self-love and body positivity and health and wellness. And I've talked about essential oils, and we've done music, and we've done dancing to really facilitate these women getting into their bodies. And I tell you all of this because it scares all of us, and we're still doing it. As of today, when I'm recording this, we have just this past weekend actually done our second ever day of bringing women together, and it's terrifying. And all of us have our own issues and all of us have our own challenges, and we all work together to have that courage. We stand together and we do this because we believe in it. And we do this because we wish somebody else had done it for us when we first came to town. We live in quite a small town, so it's wonderful to have this way of coming together that doesn't normally exist. And I can tell you that every time we do one of these events, we are becoming more confident. We are finding our feet. But we've only done 2. So it is still, for each one of us, every day, every time we show up, it takes a lot of courage to stand and say, this is me, this is my gift, this is what I want to share with you. Will you receive it? And I know that over time we will be more and more and more confident as the size of our gatherings get bigger, as our offerings change, as we bring in new women to our environment. I know that we are going to really find our feet and really find our confidence, and we're not going to need as much courage anymore. But we did not start these things feeling super confident. I just really want to bring that home to you. We did not start out on this journey of creating women's retreats feeling really confident in our abilities and really confident in ourselves. We were all terrified. And all four of us had enough courage to stand up and say, I want to do this. I'm going to do this. This is worth it. So I really just want to encourage you, if you have been sitting on the fence with something in your life, just thinking, oh, I'll wait until I have the confidence, or if you've been wondering, how do I feel confident saying this thing or teaching this thing, or even how do I feel confident in my body? How do I feel confident wearing a bikini? Oh, there's another one. There's another one. That's a juicy one. The first time, I wasn't planning on telling this story, but an unedited podcast, that's what you get. The first time I ever wore a bikini, and this goes beautifully with the being healthy, losing weight thing that I told before, story that I told before. The first time that I ever wore a bikini, it was about 3.5 years ago. And at this point, I hadn't really started my weight loss journey. I was really learning how to be healthy and learning about self-care and really sitting in this beautiful space of just accepting my body and loving my body unconditionally as she is in each moment. And I was really delving deep into this, and it was such a beautiful place. And I had never worn a bikini in public. I'd always just worn a one piece. I mean, when I was younger, I wouldn't even wear that. I wore t-shirts and shorts and things to cover up, but it was my birthday. And I had a friend visiting from Canada, and we were going to the beach, and I just decided, I said, you know what? I want to do this. I bought a bikini, but I'd never worn it. It was sitting in the drawer. And my friend, she's a wonderful person. We've known each other since we were, I think, 13 or 14. And we went to this beach together, and I put it on, and I had told her, and I was with my partner as well. And they're both very, very supportive. And I remember I had this bikini on, and I took off my t-shirt, and I looked around, and I realized nobody was looking at me. And I thought, okay, first step. Okay, I have to walk down to the water. And I took a few big deep breaths, and I summoned that courage within me, and I walked down, and she was by my side. And I walked down, and we got in the water and went for a swim. And I looked back at the beach, and nobody had even looked up. And we went for this gorgeous swim. It was just, the most stunning white sand beach and turquoise water. And then it was time to get out of the water. And I went, okay. Have to find the courage again, have to get out. I have to walk across this beach now in this bikini with my belly exposed. My belly has been, I'd say, probably one of, if not the most sensitive parts for me. It's the part that I've been most ashamed of and guilty of. And that's a story for another day. But I had to walk across this beach, and I was walking across and really, really just being brave. Like, I had zero confidence. I was just summoning all the courage that I had within me. And I looked up, and I looked around at other people, the other people on the beach, and families that were there, and these other women that were there, and, men that were there. And not one person was looking at me. And in that moment, I realized nobody gives a crap. Everybody is so obsessed with themselves and what they're doing, and they're so worried about their own bodies and their own issues. Nobody cares what you're doing. And in that moment, a huge weight was lifted off my shoulders, and the tiniest sliver of confidence made its way in. I was at like 90, I was at 100% courage and zero confidence at the end of that day. And by the end of that one day, I was at 99% courage and 1% confidence. And ever since then, slowly, I have built up to where now, if you follow me on Instagram or on Facebook, you'll see that occasionally I'll put up pictures of myself in a bikini, or of myself dancing, or of, posting pictures of my body in ways that are maybe traditionally thought of as unflattering. Showing my cellulite, showing dimples or rolls, or, what have you. And now I can tell you, it still takes courage for me to post that. It still takes courage for me to be that vulnerable in my skin. But I'm now at like 30% courage and 70% confidence, I'd say. But that's a muscle that I have flexed. And again, it's because on that day, when I was terrified and I was at zero confidence, I chose to summon the courage and have enough courage to face that fear. I didn't see that fear as a stop sign. I chose not to see it as a stop sign anymore. I chose to see it as a caution sign. Slow down, look around, but keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. And there's a quote by Brené Brown that I absolutely adore, and I love her. If you don't know Brené Brown, if you haven't read any of her books or seen her TED Talks or any of her other work on YouTube, please look her up. She is just a phenomenal human being. She has so much goodness to bring to this world. But there's a quote from her that simply says, "Vulnerability is the cornerstone of confidence." Vulnerability is the cornerstone of confidence. And from my point of view, vulnerability is also the cornerstone of courage. It takes a lot of courage to be vulnerable. And it can take a lot of vulnerability to be courageous, to find your confidence. They go together. But I really, really just want to urge you, if you are sitting there waiting to feel confident in your body, waiting to feel confident to make that big life change, waiting to feel confident to love yourself, to express yourself, please don't wait. This is not something that will be handed to you. This is something that you choose. You will create it by being courageous, by taking that first step, by putting yourself out there, whether it's in a bikini on the beach, whether it is doing your first Facebook Live if you've been wanting to do that, whether it is speaking up to a friend that you've really wanted to say something to. Maybe it takes courage to set boundaries in your life. Maybe it takes courage to choose to eat a certain way or exercise a certain way. It can be anything. But please do not wait for confidence to arrive in your life. Be brave, be bold, and create your confidence by being courageous first. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. This episode was recorded really from my heart space, straight to yours, and I hope that it has helped you. I hope that it has sparked something inside of you. If you would like to get in touch with me and talk more about this, I would love to hear from you. You can find me either on Instagram or Facebook at Katie Allen Coaching. I am also going to pop the link in for the Bold, Fearless Females that I told you about for our group where we are creating women's retreats, so you can come over and check us out as well. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. So much love to you. Here is to you loving yourself.